The first quarter of this school year, 2021-2022, proved to be a challenging one for SDO Bataan because of the situation brought about by COVID-19. We thought of a strategy on how our schools can really continue with educating our learners during this time. It's good that our district supervisors, together with our school heads, managed to distribute our modules in time for the first quarter. Due to the limited access relative to the distribution and retrieval of modules, we resorted to strengthening our integrative performance tasks and outputs to better assess our learners. Our gratitude to our dear teachers, IPT and LRMDS School and District Coordinators. With the support of our dear Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Roland M. Ronda, our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Sir William Roderick Palirin, my co-chief, Sir Ramon Perez, we have hurdled the obstacles. And today, we will be conferring awards to the chosen ones. Rest assured that all of you are recognized because of your hard work. Congratulations, my dear teachers and learners. Thank you very much, and may God bless us all.
Ang edukasyon ay hindi matitigil lang kahit anumang pagsubok.
Walang makapipigil sa inasam na kaalaman.
Kaya't kami, ang mga guro ng Santa Lucia High School mula sa Dinalupihan East District.
Kaisa,
Katuwang,
DepEd Bataan, tayo para sa edukasyon.
Bataan, katuwang sa pagbuo ng magandang kinabukasan. DepEd Bataan, para sa kabataan. Tayo para sa edukasyon. DepEd Bataan, katuwang sa pagbuo ng magandang kinabukasan. DepEd Bataan, para sa kabataan. Tayo para sa edukasyon.
Upang makamit at maabot ng mga batang mag-aaral ang layunin ng Integrative Performance Task, iniayon namin mga guro ang malangkas sa GRASP model.
Ang layunin ng IPT na ito ay ang paggawa ng mag-aaral ng isang informative brochure na magpapakita ng yamang likas at kapaligirang pisikal sa pamumuhay ng mga tao sa Barangay Pita, Dinalupihan, Bataan.
Bilang tungkulin, isa kang mag-aral sa ikapitong baitang at may kakayahan na bumuo ng informative brochure sa malikhain at makulay na pamamaraan.
ang iyong mga magulang, tagapangasiwa ng ikapitong baitang at mga guro sa bawat asignatura ang siya magbabasa at kikilatis ng iyong ginawang informative brochure.
Handa ng mag-aaral ang mga gagamitin sa paggawa ng brochure. Pagkatapos maihanda na mag-aaral ang mga kagamitan, sila ay gagawa ng informative brochure na kung saan maipapakita ang mga yamang likas at kapaligirang pisikal sa pamumuhay ng mga tao sa Barangay Pita, Dinalupihan, Bataan.
Isang informative brochure na maipapakita ang mga yamang likas at kapaligirang pisikal sa pamumuhay ng mga tao sa Barangay Pita, Dinalupihan, Bataan. Ang output ng mag-aaral ay bibigyang marka sa pamamagitan ng isang rubrics na nakatuon sa una, nilalaman, ikalawa, mensahe at ikatlo, mechanics.
Para naman sa ating most essential learning competencies na ginamit at mga performance output ng bawat asignatura, narito ang ating plan of work.
Magandang araw po sa lahat. Ang pagninilang sa sarili ay nakabubuti para sa nakararami. Kaya't ako, si John Perry Curia, grade 7 student ng Santa Lucia High School, ay katuwang ng aking mga guro sa pagpapakita ng aking integrative performance task ay nabuo ang konseptong informative brochure at suriin natin ang likas na yaman ng Asya tulad ng yamang tao, yamang lupa, yamang mineral at yamang tubig. Alam nyo ba, isa sa mga bansa sa Timog Silangang Asya ang Pilipinas na nasasakop ang munting Barangay Pita. Halina't sama-sama natin tuklasin ang mga natatagong yamang likas ng ating barangay sa pamamagitan ng paglikha ng informative brochure. Gumamit ako ng itim na kartolina bilang base sa aking big brochure. Iba't ibang kulay ng construction paper, gunting, glue, mga tape, at mga printed text at pictures. Halina't simulan na natin. Ito na po ang aming natapos na malikhaing informative brochure. Bilang paglalahad, natutunan natin ang iba't ibang yamang likas sa Asya at mga implikasyon ng kapaligirang pisikal. Ako, mag-aaral ng Santa Lucia High School na sakop ng Barangay Pita ay nagkaroon ng malalalim na kaalaman sa aking barangay sa paggawa ng informative brochure.
And here is the graphs of our IPT Grade 8. Goal: prepare a list of tools, equipments, and ingredients needed in the morning meals and cook based on family palate and preference. Role: the learner will prepare the tools and ingredients of morning meals and cook based on family palate and preference. audience, family members, and teachers who will check their output. Okay, situation, the learner must prepare the following tools to be used in cooking and ingredients needed as recipe for the day. Once done, in preparation of tools and ingredients, cooking of meal will follow and serve with the family circle. Okay, product and performance. The learner is tasked to prepare tools, equipments, and ingredients in cooking breakfast for the family circle. And lastly, standards and criteria. The rubrics in the work standard will be the basis of the teacher in evaluating the output of the learner. Okay, this is the most essential learning competencies in the core subject, which is the TLE. Utilize and maintain appropriate kitchen tools, equipment, and paraphernalia in line with the kitchen standard. Ito naman ang milk para sa Pilipino. Nagagamit ng maayos ang mga pahayag sa pag-aayos ng datos. Halimbawa, una, isa pa, iba pa. And this is the milk for English. Identify and use signals that indicate coherence. Then, the milk for mathematics. Illustrate linear equations into variables. Next is the milk for science. Investigate and explain the factors that affect potential and kinetic energy. At ito naman ang sa araling panlipunan. Nasusuri ang yugto ng pag-unlad ng kultura sa panahong prehistoriko. Ang kasunod ay ang milk ng edukasyon sa pagpapakatao. Natutukoy ang mga gawain o karanasan sa sariling pamilya na kapupulutan ng aral o may positibong impluwensya sa sarili. And lastly, the milk for MAPE. Prepare sa physical activity program.
Magandang umaga. Ako si Daphne Biletraca ng 8th Integrative. Gagawin ko ngayon ang performance task sa lahat ng subject kung saan gagawa ako ng pancake para sa aking pamilya. Narito ang mga kailangan. Ang mga kailangan na sangkap ay harina, mantikilya, asukal, gatas, baking powder, at 2 itlog. Ang mga kagamitan na kailangan ay tansek, kawali, 2 mixing bowl, 1 kutsaron, at 1 tinidor. Alam niyo ba, na lahat ng mga kasangkapan at kagamitan na nandito ngayon ay mayroong enerhiya. Ang tawag dito ay potential energy or stored energy. Ang ating unang gagawin ay ilagay ang kalahati ng harina dito sa ating malaking mangkok. Ang ating susunod na gagawin ay ilagay ang kalahati ng asukal dito. Maglagay ng 2 tablespoon ng baking powder. Sabay natin itong ihalo. Sa isang mangkok naman, ilagay natin ang 2 itlog at ang gatas. At ang gatas. Pagkatapos ihalo ang dry at wet ingredients, pagsasama na natin ito. Tapos ihalo lahat ng sangkap, iluluto na natin ito. Painitin muna natin ang kawali. Alam niyo ba, noong panahong prehistoriko, upang sila ay makaluto ay pinag-ikistis nila ang mga bato upang makagawa ng apoy. Ngayon, isang pihit na lang ay meron na tayong apoy kahit sa kalan. Lagyan na natin ng 1 tablespoon ng mantikilya ang kawali. Kalat nyo na. Tapos, bigyan natin ng isang kutsaron ng pancake mix ang kawali. Dahan-dahan. Ngayon, natapos ko nito lutuin. Maaari ko na itong ihanda sa aking pamilya.
Good morning everyone. I am Mr. Romel F. Bantugan, Master Teacher 1 in TLE at East Bernabé National High School, Bataan. The core subject in our IPT is TLE. The area of specialization is Electronic Product Assembly and Servicing under the components of Industrial Arts. To accomplish this task, here are my co-authors. For Mathematics, we have Ma'am Robilyn Basilis and Ma'am Diane Lintag. For Science and Technology, Ma'am Maritus Banson and Ma'am Maris Manzales are in charge. For MAPE, it is a combination of Ma'am Melissa Hurtado and Ma'am Jovelyn Calma. In English, we have Ma'am Jeneline Torres and Ma'am Ivy Caraan for Filipino. For ESP and AP, we have Ma'am Melanie Garay and Ma'am Ana Maria Hernandez respectively. And for the graphs of this IPT, here are the following. For the goal, it is to master the skills interpreting the ohmmeter function of an ohmmeter, which has a vital role in troubleshooting electronic circuitry. For the role, there is an illustration of an ohmmeter scale with meter deflections. The students are asked to interpret the corresponding meter deflection. For the audience, the students in grade 9 taking up electronics in TL subject are the expected learners of this activity. For the situation, using the corresponding line division of each range, the students are asked to read the meter deflection. For the product, the students are expected to interpret the meter deflection of an ohmmeter and ask to fill out the table. They are also required to answer the integrated questions from the different subject areas. And for the standards, the given standard rubrics from SDO Bataan will be utilized. For the learning competency of each subject, here are the following. In TLE, carry out measurement and calculation. Select appropriate measuring instrument and obtain accurate measurements for job. In English, express permission, obligation, and prohibition using modals. Use conditional and expressing arguments. In Science and Technology, explain how the respiratory and circulatory systems works together, transport nutrients, gases, and other molecules to and from the different parts of the body. In Mathematics, characterizes the rules of quadratic equation using discriminants. And in Filipino, nagagamit ang mga pahayag na ginagamit sa pagbibigay opinyon sa tingin, akala, palagay, ko, at iba pa. In ESP, natutukoy ang mga elemento ng kabutihang panlahat. In AP, natatalakay ang mga salik ng produksyon at ang implikasyon nito sa pang-araw-araw na pamumuhay. Nasusuri ang mga salik na nakakaapekto sa pagkonsumo. And for MAPE, undertakes physical activity and physical fitness assessment. And for the students' output, Here are the following.
A grade 9 student from EC Bernabe National High School. My area of specialization in TLE is Electronic Product Assembly and Servicing, under the supervision of Sir Mel F. Baturan. For today, I am going to show you the proper way of interpreting the measurement of an ohmmeter using all of its ranges. The only equipment needed here is a mock-up or a drawing of a multi-tester. Ohmmeter is an instrument used in measuring resistances. It can measure the resistance of both insulators and conductors. Since a human body is an example of partial conductor, it has a resistance of about a little as 1,000 ohms when wet. For my personal experience in using an actual ohmmeter, it makes me feel nervous as if my heart rate is the same as I experience when doing intensive physical activities. Napakahalaga ng ohmmeter sa larangan ng electronics dahil sa pamamagitan ng resistance nito ay maaari nating malaman kung ang isang component ay sira o hindi. Sa larangan naman ng ekonomiya, ang bilang ng mga mag-aaral na kumukuha ng asignaturang EPAS ay maaari makaapekto sa bilihin nito. Ito ay tinatawag na market economy. Now, let us try to interpret the reading of an ohmmeter for RX1, RX10, RX1K, and RX100K. Let us start with RX1. RX1, the line division from 0 to 2 is 0.2, from 2 to 10 is 0.5, from 10 to 20 is 1, from 20 to 50 is 2, from 50 to 100 is 5, from 100 to 200 is 20. For R times 10, we will just simply multiply our answer to 10. So 200 times 10 is equals to 2,000 ohms, or simply 2 kilo ohms, wherein kilo means 1,000. It can be noted that the ohmmeter shows 2,000 ohms. If it is located in the 200 ohm position, the if statement here is if it is located in the 200 ohm position. The same rule is applied for RX1K. The answer will be 200 kilo ohms. And for RX100K, the answer is 20 million ohms or 20 mega ohms. Mega means after answering each number, it will be transferred to a data table. This procedure will be repeated until all the required meter deflection is already interpreted.
Integrative Performance Test is a product of teachers' innovation and ingenuity. It is also a way of improving the assessment status in this new normal setup of education. With the integration of the different subjects, this IPT in high school is evident as learners work more independently. The tasks are set in an authentic context that reflects real-world applications of knowledge and skills. They are more likely to see the purpose and relevance of what they are being asked to learn. Good day, everyone. Welcome to the presentation of the Integrative Performance Task for Grade 10, Quarter 1. I am Cecilia G. De Leon from Samal National High School Annex, Samal District, your presenter. Here are the names of the dedicated teachers who work collaboratively to make this output possible. And as the saying goes, alone we can do little, together we can do so much. Thank you, teachers, for your cooperation as we successfully came up with this IPT. And also, thank you to our hardworking school head, Edgardo Jesus Esbasa II, for his support, together with our equally hardworking District Supervisor, Dr. Jolfa D. Reyes. This is our graphic presentation of the Integrative Performance Task, which covers the 8 competencies from 8 learning areas with TLE cookery as the core subject, with identify market forms of eggs, and integrated to the other subjects with the competencies as in science, English, math, AP, ESP, Filipino, and arts of MAPE. The main output is to make salted egg using clay mud method. As it was done, the other competencies were also observed as shown in these outputs in each subject, like in Filipino, sumulat ng pansariling talata gamit ang angkop ng mga hudyat sa pagsunod-sunod ng pangyayari ukol sa paggawa ng itlog na maalat. While in English, write the steps in making salted egg using textual aids. In science, make an illustration of convergent plate boundaries using eggshell. In math, create a pattern to show your profit in a week. Araling panlipunan, gumawa ng mosaic gamit ang balat ng itlog. And in ESP, bilang isang mabuting negosyante, ipakita ito sa pamamagitan ng iyong sariling larawan or selfie. In MAPE, specifically in arts, create a mosaic using eggshell. Upon conceptualizing this integrative performance task, we were guided with an authentic and meaningful assessment model, which is the GRASP, as G stands for goal. And the goal is to produce salted egg following the steps of clay mud procedure and create an art form using eggshell. For the role of the student, the task is to act as an entrepreneur at the same time environmental advocate. A, which is audience, that is for family and community. The S, the situation. As the COVID-19 pandemic continues, many became jobless. With this situation, more families experience financial difficulty. And as an entrepreneur, you will help the community by making a profit while staying at home with the salted egg business. At the same time, you will also encourage the community, especially the students, to recycle the eggshell by making an art form out of it. For the P, which is the product performance, the purpose for evaluation, the products that are required in this situation are salted egg, income, and artwork. The S, which is the standard and criteria for success in evaluating, subject teachers will use the rubrics adopted from DepEd Bataan Division Memorandum 133 Series of 2021. And next, the references used in this IPT. This integrative performance task is a manifestation of the teacher's innovation and versatility in different learning and may also showcase collaborative efforts among teachers. Thus, it is not only advantageous to us teachers but also to our learners' knowledge, understanding, and proficiency. With that, this is again Cecilia G. De Leon from Samal National High School Annex. Thank you and mabuhay! Good day, everyone. Welcome to the presentation of the Integrative Performance Task for Grade 10 Quarter 1. This is our graphic presentation of the Integrative Performance Task, which covers the 8 competencies from 8 learning areas with TLE Cookery as the course subject, with identify market forms of eggs, and integrated to the other subjects with the competencies as in science, English, math, AP, ESP, Filipino, and arts of MAPE. The main output is to make salted egg using clay mud method, as it was done. As it was done, the other competencies were also observed as shown in these outputs in each subject, like in Filipino, sumulat ng pansariling talata gamit ang angkop ng mga hudyat sa pagsunod-sunod ng pangyayari ukol sa paggawa ng itlog na maalat. While in English, write the steps in making salted egg using textual aids. In science, make an illustration of convergent plate boundaries using eggshells. In math, create a pattern to show your profit in a week. Araling panlipunan, gumawa ng mosaic gamit ang balat ng itlog. And in ESP, bilang isang mabuting negosyante, ipakita ito sa pamamagitan ng iyong sariling larawan or selfie. In MAPE, specifically in arts, create a mosaic using eggshells.
Grade 11, Quarter 1. I am Lizette A. Robles from Bonifacio Camacho National High School, Senior High School, Abukay District. This IPT is a joint effort and shared commitment of grade 11 subject teachers under the supervision of our school principal, Dr. Mirna E. Castillo, and our assistant school principal, Jesusa D. Pizarro. Our IPT coordinator, Ma'am Charito D. Corpus with Ma'am Hani Castro, and our very supportive and enthusiastic supervisor, Dr. Roel D. Ligan. This IPT covers 8 competencies integrating all the subjects of grade 11 home economics strand. This aims to lessen the workload of students, yet not sacrificing the quality of the learnings and expected output. This table shows the different subjects, the learning competency, and the expected learner's output. We make sure that the learner's output is congruent with all the learning competencies. For the subject focus, food and beverage services. Learning competency, set up the table in the dining area. Empowerment technology.
In making the video, the learner will cite the website or websites that he or she used as a reference in setting the table.
Personal development.
Video presentation, the learner must show confidence in his or her work and project proper emotions while doing the activity.
Physical education and health 11.
While making the video, the learner should demonstrate the proper etiquette and safety in setting the table.
General mathematics.
In setting the table, the learner will state and represent examples of one-to-one function in nature regarding table setting.
Oral communication.
While making the video, the learner will cite different communication strategies to avoid communication breakdown.
Earth, life, and science.
While making the video, the learner should identify the possible hazards that might occur and affect the venue or place during an earthquake.
Komunikasyon at pananaliksik sa wika at kulturang Pilipino.
Sa paggawa ng video, gumamit ng konseptong pangwika sa paglalahad ng personal na damdamin, pananaw at karanasan sa ginawang table setting.
The task shall be done individually at the comfort of their home using available tableware and utensils. For letter R, or the row, the learner will act as a food attendant or server. For letter A, we have the audience. The audience are the subject teacher, students, and family members. S is for situation. You are assigned a restaurant's dining area. The supervisor instructed you to set up a table for formal dining, good for one person. With the given instructions, you are tasked to make a video presentation and setting up a table good for one person. For product or performance, a video presentation showing the proper procedure in setting up the table. For S, standard or criteria for success. 100% students' participation and involvement are expected in this IPT. Also, we have clear brief so that the student will know how are they going to be graded. I also include a performance task guide indicating specific instructions to the learners. Once they perform all the steps from 1 to 8 in their presentation, they will be able to achieve all the expected output from them. I also put a note that if tablewares or utensils is not available in their home, they could substitute it with other tablewares or glasswares. Just label them properly and correctly, applying contextualization. We are one with the Department of Education, giving importance to learning continuity amidst pandemic. Again, I'm Lizette A. Robles,
Tanare from 11 HD. I'll be presenting my integrative performance task in Home Economics Round Grade 11. For today, I'll set up the table good for one person within the required time frame and in accordance with standards. References in making this video presentation includes video simulations by College and Career Ready Lab and How to Set a Formal Dining Table by Martha Stewart on her website marthastewart.com. I also use Food and Beverage Services NC2 Quarter 1 Module 1 by JC Mila of the Department of Education as my guide in performing this task. So before we start, we must wear our proper and complete uniform, observe body posture, and most of all, wear our precious smile with positive thoughts in our mind.
For the plate, hold the plate on its edge, not on the rim for safety and sanitation purposes. For the utensils, hold the utensils on its handle. Dinner knife, dinner fork, salad knife, salad fork, and soup spoon. Dessert fork and dessert spoon. For the glass, hold the glass on its stem or base to avoid finger mark. Water goblet, red wine glass, white wine glass. For the other utensils, we also have coffee cup and saucer with teaspoon and bread and butter plate together with butter spreader. To make it more formal, let's put some centerpiece, base, salt and pepper shaker. Lastly,
don't forget the table napkin. Put it on the top of the charger. Here's the complete setting for a formal dining. Next, I'll show you that one-to-one function is performed completely and correctly in setting the table. The relation pairing, the dinner knife with the dinner fork, as well as the salad knife with the salad fork is a one-to-one function. The relation pairing, the dessert spoon with the dessert fork, and the relation pairing, the bread and butter plate with butter spreader is also a one-to-one function. In the event that an earthquake will happen, don't panic. Stay calm, perform the duck, cover and hold, leave the building if necessary. After the earthquake, check for any hazards like glass breakage, spills, or fallen items. Remove or clean it immediately to avoid any accidents or injury. In the situation that our guest has a special request, learn to listen very well. Take care of your body language or tone while talking to the guest. Clarify or confirm his or her request to avoid miscommunication. Make an adjustment for their request. For example, removing of wine glasses, white wine glass, and red wine glass. Lastly, give feedback to the guest once the request has been done or fulfilled. Bilang pagtatapos, nais kong ibahagi ang aking pananaw at karanasan habang nagsiset up ng table. May tatlong bagay akong natutunan na dapat isaalang-alang. Una, maging maingat sa paghawak ng mga kasangkapan. Ikalawa, sundin ang proseso o tamang pagkakasunod-sunod ng mga ito. Pinakahuli, nararapat na tayo ay may tiwala sa ating sarili Iwasan ang pagmamadali upang maging maganda at maayos ang kalalabasan ng ating gawain. Muli, ako po si Jeanette Ann Canare. Maraming salamat po.
As teachers, it is our passion to provide quality and fun learning to our students. We always do our best to help them gain knowledge. It is our responsibility to perform lead performance tasks that can assess various learning competencies without being overwhelming on the part of the student.
In regards to this challenge, the integrative performance task takes place. It lessens schoolworks and also makes learning opportunities across multiple subject areas. Through employing IPTs, students can produce authentic outputs which they can relate their learnings in these subjects. At the same time, it can also help the teachers gauge the level of mastery of the learners. Though it takes more time, the preparation of IPTs will be a great help, not only for teachers but also for students. As the saying goes, para sa bata, para sa bayan.
Magandang buhay! This is Camela Sinira and I'll be presenting the Integrative Performance Task of Maribeles National High School, Camaya Campus. To appreciate and recognize the great efforts of the people behind this, let me present our development team. We focus on the subjects of grade 12 BM strand for the first quarter of the first semester. Here are the following subject areas, competencies, and performance task outputs utilized in this integrative performance task. The main subject of this performance task is the youth specialized subject, community engagement, solidarity, and citizenship. For this subject, the competency is to explain forms of community engagement that develop community through solidarity. The performance output is to list the different local organizations that contribute to community engagement through solidarity. For the entrepreneurship, the competency is to recognize the importance of marketing mix in the development of marketing strategy. The performance output is to draw a logo that may serve as a marketing tool in educating the people within the community regarding COVID-19. For practical research too, the competency is to describe the background of the research. The performance output is to create an infographic that clearly defines COVID-19 as a virus. For health opportunities, through physical education or HOPE, the competency is to set, fit, goals based on training principles to achieve and or maintain HRM. The performance output is to design a weekly exercise routine or planner in terms of health-related fitness components. For the Understanding Culture, Society, and Politics or UCSP, the competency is to analyze the forms and functions of the social organizations. The performance output is to enumerate the basic responsibilities of each individual in certain units within the community as preventive measures in COVID-19 virus. For the introduction to the philosophy of a human person, the competency is to recognize how the human body imposes limits and possibilities for transcendence. The performance output is to list self-care tips amidst the pandemic. For Pilipino sa Pilingdarang Academic, the competency is ang kasusunod ng maayos akademikong sulatin. The performance output is makagawa ng synthesis o buod tungkol sa mga kaalaman sa COVID-19 sa pamamagitan ng paglalapat ng mga konsepto sa leaflet. For the creative writing, the competency is to use imagery, diction, figures of speech, and specific experiences. The performance output is to make a one-quatrain poem about COVID-19 using imagery, diction, figures of speech, and specific experiences. For English for academic and professional purposes, or EAPP, the competency is to determine the ways on how a writer can elucidate a concept by definition, explication, and classification. The performance output is to produce a well-balanced concept paper in a specific discipline in relation to COVID-19 pandemic. Let me walk you through our graphs. The goal is to disseminate significant information about COVID-19 in relation to its background and necessary preventive actions for the students and community as well. For the role, the student is an academic writer and a layout artist who intends to produce an informative leaflet concerning COVID-19. The target beneficiaries of this activity are the students and various individuals within the community. In the current situation, changes take place in all aspects of human lives. People move in fear of being infected of the COVID-19 virus. This delivers them to being anxious because of lack of information on how to deal with it. Thus, this can be resolved through educating them. For the product, the learners are projected to use their acquired knowledge in different subjects in developing an informative leaflets with the advocacy of eradicating illiteracy on COVID-19. Considering the situation we are into, the students are given the option to either present their outputs through digital or traditional arts. This is a standard or criteria for success in reference with the given standard rubrics of SDO Bataan. To further discuss the formulated output for the integrative performance task, here is the sample output of the students. The major output is to create a leaflet with the purpose of educating and informing the audience regarding the facts and preventive measures during this pandemic. For the subject entrepreneurship, they are tasked to create a logo relevant to the theme and come up with a title which applies the basic concepts of marketing strategies. This part of the output integrated the concepts of the subject. Practical research 2, describing the background and origin of the coronavirus disease through infographic. Alongside the practical research 2, the English for academic and professional purposes, or EAPP, integrates a competency of defining and classifying concept writing about COVID-19 symptoms and transmission. This section shows the exercise routine tips formulated in relevance to the frequency, intensity, time, and type or fit on the components of exercise. This part shows the formulated preventive measures in relevance with the student's perspective on how to prevent the spread of COVID-19. For the subject community engagement, society, and solidarity, they are asked to list the different organizations that can contribute to community engagement through solidarity. Upon determining the limitations in the subject, Introduction to the Philosophy of the Human Person, the learners are tasked to formulate the self-care tips. Para sa asignaturang Pilipino sa Pilingdarang, matatagpuan sa huling pahina ng leaflet ang kasanayan sa pagbubuod o synthesis tungkol sa mga kaalaman sa COVID-19. In relevance with the subjects creative writing, the students are asked to make one portrait poem using imagery, diction, figures of speech, and specific experiences. With all this, I now conclude the presentation of Integrative Performance Task of Maribel National High School, Kamaya Campus. Thank you for watching!
Pandemic warriors, good day! With the COVID-19 going around, our top priority is to safeguard ourselves and the people around us. My name is Kayan Bugay, a Humanities and Social Sciences student of Maribeles National High School, Kamaya Campus. Today, I will have a leaflet presentation to discuss the process of developing my output for our integrative performance task as well as its parts. At the end of this presentation, I hope everyone to be more informed on ways to keep ourselves safe during these times. Let me show you how I made my leaflet. We are asked to choose between digital or traditional presentation. I use digital presentation since I am more comfortable in using online applications. First off, I conceptualize the contents of the leaflet. After conceptualizing, I proceed on making the logo using the software Photoshop. For the actual making of the digital leaflet, I use the application Canva. This is where I integrated all the ideas that I have conceptualized. I started to add design and colors to make it interesting. After I finished making the layout, I put all the contents needed to make it more informative. Let me show you my output. For the subject entrepreneurship, we are asked to make a logo. It represents the COVID situation happening in the world. It shows here the title, which is Linked Task, Fighting COVID-19 Together. It means that all of us are given a task, and that is to be united. Thus, together, we will overcome this global issue that is a threat to everyone. In the second part of the leaflet, we have here a brief explanation on how COVID-19 started. It is aligned with our subject practical research too. At the latter part, we can see its symptoms, namely cough, loss of smell, tiredness, loss of taste, and fever. On this page, I integrate our subject English for academic and professional purposes as I write a little trivia which tells about the first encounter of humans with the coronavirus disease. It simply states how Filipinos have experienced the changes brought by the pandemic. In our subject Physical Education, we learned about some of the routines that we can follow in our homes to keep ourselves healthy. Here is an example of a weekly routine. The weekly routine is composed of 4 to 5 exercises each day with corresponding times or repetitions. The fifth part of the leaflet is composed of the preventive measures that even us students can perform to protect ourselves from the virus. This is where we integrate our subject Understanding Culture, Society, and Politics or UCSP. For our subject Introduction to the Philosophy of the Human Person, we have here the self-care tips during the pandemic. Even with the need for self-isolation and only going out for the necessities during quarantine, we must always consider our mental and physical health. These are also essential in maintaining our immunity while in isolation. I learned in community engagement, solidarity, and citizenship that the government is not the only one who's finding solutions for this matter. There are other organizations and sectors that are working together in hopes of mitigating the pandemic. They are the ones who aid the general public and provide a macro effort in improving our COVID situation. Some of these are Fund Life, RTI International, and Give to Asia. Now that we have learned more about COVID and the ways to keep ourselves protected amidst this trying time, for our subject creative writing, here's a one-quatrain poem serves as a friendly reminder to us. Ang pintig ng punso ay bunga ng pag-asa. Ngayon ay sinusubok ang ating pagkakaisa. Sa panahon ng pandemya, kalusugan ang dapat inuuna, nang makalaya na sa kasalukuyang sakuna. These are the references I use in this leaflet. Remember to always adhere to safety. S. Stay at home. A. Always wash your hands. F. Follow quarantine protocols. E. Eat healthy and exercise. P. To always check up on yourself and others virtually. And lastly, Y. You can update others about the COVID information online. This wraps up my leaflet presentation about COVID-19. Again, this is Kay Ann Bugay. Thank you for watching.